Vale, perdón, se me ha ido en un momento. Solo han hablado del Back 4 Blood, que hay una beta y poco más.
So there you have it, guys. Back 4 Blood's PvP mode Swarm. To hear more about it and to take a deep dive into the gameplay and the mechanics, we have Turtle Rock's lead game designer on Back 4 Blood, Brandon Yanez. Brandon, can you tell us a little bit about the inspiration of this new PvP mode and what makes it fun and unique?
Of course, so just like our previous titles, we really enjoy bringing new ideas to the table while retaining the spirit of the genre that we're working in. So Back 4 Blood's PvP is heavily inspired by our previous titles. Survival, fast action, massive monsters,
lo único que sé que
so our
iba a
goal
venir, que
is
es lo
to make
primero
a
que
balanced
estaban
and fun
mostrando,
PvP
Back
mode
4
with just
Blood.
as much replayability
Pero es
as
que
the
ya no
main
sé qué van a
So
mostrar.
what's the structure of the PvP like? Do you play in rounds? Can you play as both cleaners and ridden in one match, or are we swapping between the two?
Yeah, so it's played as a best of 3 match. Teams of 4 take turns swapping between the ridden and cleaner players. The job of the cleaners is to scavenge supplies, find a good place on the map to fortify their position, and try to last as long as they can. The ridden's main objective is to kill the cleaners as fast as they can. So this is achieved by choosing the right ridden to counter the other team's strategy, using mutation upgrades, and by coordinating attacks with other AIs and players. As the round progresses, the swarm moves in, so this increases the size of the ridden attacks and shrinks the playable space, sometimes forcing the cleaners out of their favorable positions. Right? So when a cleaner team is wiped from the field, the points are scored for how long they survive. Then both teams swap, and then they go at it from the other side. The team that runs the clock the longest as the cleaners is the winner.
Now, I understand you can play as all the different cleaners in both co-op and PvP. Do you have a favorite character then you play as?
So I have a couple. I play Mom a lot. She's a badass with a sawed-off shotgun. She adds a lot of survivability to the team. She can also instantly help teammates that have fallen during battle. All of our cleaners have special perks, so that one is hers.
Let's jump into another trailer that goes a little more in depth on the Ridden's progression through PvP. Check it out.
Nada raro todo ahí.
Okay, so Brandon, we just saw that each different Ridden has their own variants as well as their own mutations on each variant. So can you expand a little more on these special abilities and how they work?
Sure. So at the start of each round, players can choose between 9 playable Ridden, each with their own unique abilities. So for example, the Stalker can pounce a player and pull them away from their team, or an Exploder can time their detonation in the middle of a group of cleaners and fling them all in separate directions.
Now, knowing that each Ridden has these different abilities, how do they change and improve throughout a match and improve the Ridden's chance of winning?
So as the Ridden battle against the cleaners, they gain points. They can spend these points on team-wide upgrades called mutations. Mutations improve a lot of different things on the Ridden side, from adding effects to their abilities. They might buff the common AI waves in size and strength. So the really cool thing is so they affect the whole team, and they persist between rounds. So as a Ridden team starts to coordinate their upgrades, things can get pretty wild.
What are some strategies that the Ridden team can take on in order to get a leg up on the competition?
If the cleaners are really sticking together, you can swap to the wretch and vomit on their location. That's going to cause them to spread out, right? This is going to open up a whole bunch of opportunities for your other Ridden players to attack, right? So if you get them to spread out and there's a stalker nearby, the stalker uses the chaos to grab one of the cleaners and drag them off into the swarm. The wretch's vomit also slows their victims, so if a tall boy who's naturally pretty slow can attack one of those slow characters, they're going to really be able to pummel them. Another good one is if an exploder waits for a cleaner to go revive their friend, they can use that as an opportunity to charge in and detonate on them, sending them flying and doing a massive amount of damage.
Ooh, sounds pretty brutal. So with that being said, which is your favorite Ridden to play as?
That has to be the tall boy. It's pretty easy to pick up and play, and I have a lot of fun hitting cleaners across the map.
Speaking of fun, let's talk about weapons. Now, throughout the trailers, you can see a number of different weapons. Can you go a little deeper into what those weapons are and how they work?
So we really wanted to expand on the amount of choices the player had in Back 4 Blood with their weapon. So of course there's handguns, shotguns, LMGs, SMGs, sniper rifles, and a whole bunch of other types of weapons, each with sort of like a unique character feel to them.
Now, how deep does this weapon customization go? I really want to know. What are some of the different attachments and options, and how do they change the gameplay overall?
Absolutely. So there's a lot of different customization options for your weapons. So throughout the world, you can find scopes, silencers, stocks, sights, all that good stuff. You can mix and match them, so there's a ton of options.
Last question. Do you have a favorite type of weapon?
Absolutely. So as I said earlier, I really enjoy playing Mom, so her shotgun is definitely at the top of my list.
All right, we've learned a little bit about how it all works, the cleaners, the Ridden, the mutations, as well as how the customization works for the weapons. Thank you so much for joining me, Brandon, and for giving us a little bit more detail on Back 4 Blood's new PvP mode, Swarm.
Thanks for having me. I can't wait for everyone to get their hands on this game. We're all really excited.
I can't wait either. The good news is that you guys won't have to wait too long. There's an open beta coming up on August 12th with an early access portion on August 5th available to those who pre-order. That's all for today, but Back 4 Blood still has a lot more to reveal in the coming months, so stay tuned. Bye.
Gramos to Back 4 Blood.
And there you got it, folks. Back 4 Blood. It looks awesome. PvP mode. That was actually a pleasant surprise for me. When I played the game, you know, when the alpha was out, I think it was the alpha is what they termed it as. It was, you know, a single player cooperative, right? That kind of experience, Dan. But, you know, I love me some good old fashioned unorthodox PvP types of games. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I played an irresponsible amount of the versus mode in Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2, in which you get to be both the monsters and the player characters. And Swarm mode, that's exactly what I wanted from this game. And I like the wrinkle where you're going to die no matter what, like you're actually in a horror movie. At least that's what I would do in a horror movie. I would just perish immediately. But here, you have to try and rack up as big of a time as possible and challenge the other team to beat it. I think that's a cool conceit. And like really, it makes it feel distinct from the campaign mode like you might see in the previous game. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, and obviously you and I, we both come from an esports background. You know, I see something like that, it looks different, and we know Turtle Rock's history, having tried different games and different unorthodox multiplayer games in the past, but I think that there's some potential there for some fun competition.
I think that, I don't know if I see it as like a full esport, but like a Twitch Rivals or something, or like some fun competitions, like we get a couple G4 hosts together.
Shameless
we
plug.
start playing, shameless plug. I got you, Jerry. Shameless plug, and then we all play together, we're the zombies, we're the good guys, and then we do it in real life.
No, I wouldn't want to do that in real life, especially not after the week we had. Damon, though, I know you're a single-player guy, but I know you also played a decent amount of Left 4 Dead. So because of this Back 4 Blood, what I like about it is, yes, it is, you know, PvP, but it still pulls back to the single-player experience very well, and I think for that reason, it should appeal to folks who maybe don't really want to dive into PvP, but enjoy, the gameplay mechanics.
I think there's actually a character or a class just for people like me in the PvP, and that's the Exploder.
Yes.
I'm going to die a lot, but if I can take out a few enemies with me, I don't mind dying so much.
Yeah, exactly. It's all right to just run up there, blow yourself up a few times. You know what, man, Michael? It looks like it's going to be a good time. Do you feel like this is something that you can pick up and play repeated sessions of?
Yeah, I miss having that game where I could just play with my friends back home and just be really loud and ignorant over comms. Like Left 4 Dead is 1000% that game for us. We can just wow out on Discord or whatever. But it's really exciting in the sense that, when you think about it, Left 4 Dead was a source mod. Yeah, so Turtle Rock obviously made their bread off that, but the production values of Back 4 Blood, this is their opportunity to kind of bring back that magic of Left 4 Dead, but do it on a much bigger scale. And that presentation that we saw, it's we're going all in on this mode with all these classes, these different characters. It's going to be wild and all sorts of stuff. So it's really promising because that format, that foundation is strong enough already. That can carry a new game. But if you put on a lot of mechanics on top of that,
And funny enough, we did not mention that Back 4 Blood was also on the Xbox press briefing as well. So you actually saw a few of the different elements that are going to be coming to this game. Something that I love, Avali, giant monsters. Giant monsters always a plus.
Oh, giant monsters are freaking amazing. You saw, I think they said 9 playable ridden that you could be fighting. The huge monster that we ended up seeing, which was the size of a building, just came in. So I'm trying to figure out okay, cool. So we're co-oping this. We're getting in there. We're taking him down together. But then also very excited for the PvP moments because I just can't wait to just throw up on friends. Can't do it in real life, so may as well do it in the game.
That's what's up.
Are you sure you can't do it in real life?
Well, you have a mask on, so it's just going to be
We're
it's not
trying
going
to
to
be
go very far.
COVID
Vale,
safe,
ya estoy con el chat, ahora
Totally.
Así
But
que
no,
voy a hacer
I mean,
un
it just
ratito
seems
de
like
algo
such a fun game. The last time
mientras
I
hablan
played
del
Left 4 Dead
Back
2
4
was
Blood.
quite honestly in middle school, and all my friends were older at me and just yelling at me.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, cool. I now see some of the mechanics that Michael was mentioning, being able to kind of throw up on people and move them out of their hiding spots, or trying to separate people from the rest of the squad. I can't wait to with my newly formed adult brain, try to implement some of these.
Well, if there's one thing a game like Back 4 Blood is good for, it's good for yelling at friends and having a good time. And one friend who I love yelling at, it's Greg Miller, who's over with Jackie. Greg, take it away.
Thank you, Golden Boy. Always a pleasure to yell at you. Avi's newly formed adult brain.
She's so sweet.
At what point does it form? At what year does the adult? You know what? We won't. Let's keep talking a litwhat about Back 4 Blood.
I was gonna say all of ours is still forming.
Exactly
so,
right. I'm
yeah,
doing
we've
more,
still got a long way.
I'm hurting mine more than I'm helping at this point, I think. What did you think? PvP, Back 4 Blood.
Oh my goodness, I absolutely love everything I've seen with Back 4 Blood.
Yeah.
Since the first trailer, to be completely honest, and then I've just been tracking every single
No,
YouTube
estaban
video that I
hablando
can get my
media
hands
hora
on.
Yeah.
And actually the co-founder, Phil Robb, it was in some YouTube video, and he was like, we've had to sit back the last 10 years and watch other people rip on something we created. And I feel like he's y'all, I'm bringing it 100%. We're going to give you cleaners with depth. We're going to give you ridden with depth. Of
course.
We just heard Avali and we heard Golden Boy talking about the potential for esports here. I was talking to you, I said, wow, do you think there could be the potential for that? So a lot of people thinking that as well. I think they're bringing their A game, and I have loved everything I have seen.
I adored Left 4 Dead, but I only played it co-op. I've never been the PvP person.
You're a lover, not a fighter.
Well, it's interesting to get to this point now, in 2021, and talk about this and look for what we just saw from this presentation, because I can see me and my friends playing that. I can see Kind of Funny doing streams of that.
Oh, yeah.
And I think this round, best of 3, switch sides, go through who can clear it the fastest in the time, it gets really interesting really quickly. When you have somebody, and I think also about how I guess my, since as old as I am and as long ago as Left 4 Dead 2 was, the way my gaming preferences have changed, because I still think of it as Left 4 Dead and what I do with Left 4 Dead, but in reality, right, there's, for me personally, been Predator hunting grounds. There's been Friday the 13th. There's been these different things that are challenging me and my friends groups to go at it, and then switch up the teams, right? When somebody like Snowbike Mike comes in and is way too powerful and is too good as a cleaner, we'll put him over on the ridden side and have that try to balance for it. I thought it sounded really good. I'm right there with you. I like this idea of, one of the things they were talking about is, for every round, the area of play shrinking. so that it does become, you've sat there, you've established your base of operations, and now you've got to move all the way over there.
You know I'm all about that battle royale, so I was like, okay, I'm here for that for sure. So who do you think you're gonna pick? I was leaning towards Holly with the bat. You know me, I'm all melee over here.
I'm with the shotgun. That's a pretty good one, right? You know what I mean?
Mom with the shotgun, you can't beat that for
sure. And then,
sure.
I mean, what about when you think of the Ridden, who are you thinking?
Honestly, Avali stole my pick. I want to vomit on people.
Really?
I do. I'm just like, that was too fun. Though being the Exploder could be. I agree with Damon as well. That could be really fun.
See,
too.
Crusher, I think I'm in line for. Crusher. Get him, squeeze him, go. But again, it'll be about building, teams together. 9 playable Ridden, a whole bunch of different stuff.
Oh my goodness, we could talk Back 4 Blood for days. I have like pages and pages.
Right.
But want even more details, Back 4 Blood's lead producer sat down with our partners at Reddit for an in-depth AMA. Check it out.
Exclusivo de 3.
We are going to be supporting this in our up-and-coming beta that people will be able to play this August.
No
and of course, we also fully intend to support that for the launch.
Que sea 30 minutos de Back 4 Blood, que ahora son preguntas de Reddit. Y me dio mucha gracia que de hecho
we're going to be supporting
plan,
2 modes,
30 minutos de
PvE
eso y luego
and PvP. PvE is your more traditional kind of style, where you're going against the AI with the 4 cleaners against the Ridden, and then PvP is where you can fight against other players online. In PvP, we have a separate progression tree that we call the ZMS, which is the Zombie Mutation System. As you play through the game, we grant points to players depending on how well they're doing during each round, and then they're kind of free to spend those points on upgrades to the different zombies that we have, just so we can, they can make them more powerful, cleaner killing machines. Indeed, there's actually going to be plenty of other stuff to keep cleaners occupied. As you're saying, when you're going from safe room to safe room, we're going to have special events in maps. We're going to have some lulls when you're not always getting hoarded by tons and tons of zombies, so you'll have time to explore each map, explore each area, where you'll be able to look for loot or upgrades or attachments to weapons, all that kind of thing. And we'll also have some secondary objectives in each of these maps that players will be able to complete. So yeah, as you say, ADS wasn't in Left 4 Dead, but we're certainly fully aware that a lot of games these days do support that feature. It's pretty common. So it's something we definitely wanted to include, so players have that option. And I believe we do have some cards that can disable ADS if that's kind of not your thing.
Back 4 Blood, pues toma sangre y palos y cosas así. ¿Dónde está el family friendly ahora,
I'm probably going to go for 3 different cleaners, just to be awkward. I know you only asked me for 1, but I like playing Mum a lot. The quick revive is super handy. Walker's great because he gives you that extra boost of accuracy, which I need every now and again, I have to admit. And the Holly extra stamina is super useful. Stamina helps you get away from some sticky situations. And I guess speaking of sticky, for the Ridden, I love playing the Hocker, like hiding up on rooftops during PvP, checking where you see the cleaners are going to try and hide out, and then trying to stick them from afar, and then that kind of sticks them in place and allows some of the other more up close and attack Ridden to get some free hits in while they're trying to free themselves. So it's a lot of fun playing that Ridden and helping out the team with coordinated teamwork. Yes, thank you so much. We're really excited for the beta and the launch of the main game. It was pretty amazing that Warner Brothers gave us the opportunity to make this game. And then, as you said, the atmosphere in the studio at the time was electric. and it has continued to remain so, even though we've developed this game in, you know, somewhat unusual circumstances. These ridden can certainly mutate into all sorts of different shapes and sizes. So, you know, who knows what monstrous thing they might turn into next. We won't be supporting that at launch, but you can of course queue in with 3 of your friends into PvP. And I think it's important to point out that during a match of PvP, you play different rounds. And then at one point you will be playing as the ridden, and then at one point you'll be playing as the cleaners. So, you know, you're going to have a chance to pick off ridden during a normal match of PvP with 3 of your friends. We would love to support split screen, but right now it's something that unfortunately won't be available at launch. We don't currently support that, but you can build different decks with the card system, and that will give you the option to take, you know, maybe like reload speed you like, which another character has. So you can add that to your deck, and you can start customizing your character that way. So you would have similarities to some of the cleaners' abilities. Okay, thanks for hanging around. Give me the opportunity to answer some of these questions for you. Don't forget, in August, there's the open beta. It's going live. We'd love you all to play as much of that as you can, because that'll get us ready for the big day in October when we bring the full game to you. Look out. Get ready. Back for Blood.
More power.
IGN Summer of Gaming has officially partnered with the ESA for E3 2021. IGN Summer of Gaming is now all summer long. From major press conferences and announcements at E3 2021 to the IGN Expo with exclusive gameplay to exciting first looks at the hottest new games and in-depth developer interviews, IGN Summer of Gaming has it all. IGN Summer of Gaming begins right now.
Me cago en la puñeta. ¿Qué calla, cojones? Que te calles. Si veo que empieza el de PC, corto y abro. Pero así, súper rápido todo.
I grew up where you would buy games and they were big floppies. Not the little diskette floppies, but like the big floppies, you know? And you'd go and you'd buy the game and it came in a big box. And of course, the internet came about and it was like AOL 1.0. This is like when it was black and white. And you'd connect and you'd have the external modem and I'd be yelling upstairs and be like, don't pick up the phone, you know, because it would kick me off the internet and I would be so upset. And I was just like, oh my God, this whole world was being unlocked for me.
iHeartRadio is a proud partner of E3 2021 and the #1 podcast publisher in the US. Listen to all your favorite shows on the iHeartRadio app. Jackie. Golden Boy. It's continuing. Can you believe we are moments away from the PC gaming show? It's coming up. We can't wait. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
But the question I have for you is, and especially you,
¡Ya está!
Alex.
Habla del Back 4 Blood y ya está.
Well, you know, so I grew up.
Y se han quedado tan anchos,
traditionally,
tío.
I'm taking it all the way back when I was a young lad in the Bronx.
Flipo, tío. O
No,
sea,
but I grew up traditionally playing console
mira que
games.
había
So,
peores,
you know, when I got
pero
older,
ha
when
sido
I got some
literalmente
money and
30
I could
minutos
afford
de
to get a
Back 4 Blood.
PC, you know, I was like turned to this world, and now like that's all I ever want to play.
Yeah.
Like PC for me is everything. So this show, and of course being hosted by none other than one of the legends of esports, Day 9. It's a real joy to watch it. You know, you're always going to get some fun games out there, and it puts a spotlight on games you normally wouldn't get to hear about because you know there's so much going on with the hustle and bustle of E3.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I think is special about PC Gaming Show, is that it is, first off, designed for the PC player, which I know sounds like the stupidest thing a host can say, but it's true because it's designed in a way of like, hey, let's target PC players. Let's talk to them on a different level. Jackie, what do you get out of the show?
I own 2 PCs, so I'm all about that PC life.
Look at that flex. Look at that flex.
Hold on.
Well, when I was in the Bronx, I built the PC once. She's got 2 over there. She got one gathering dust she doesn't even need.
I shouldn't have even said that. I was just saying that what I love about the PC gaming show is that my brother was a huge PC fan. You know, like I just remember him being glued to the computer, and I was more like you. I played more console, and I was like, "What are you doing over here?" And actually, like I took it upon myself after he passed away to like really dive in and learn how to play in PC. I'm awful. I'm absolutely terrible. But I feel connected to him.
You can plug your controller in, so you're good.
Yeah, you're right. There's also that option as well. But I'm also of the camp that the surprises. You know what I mean? Like, I just think you always see a game that just makes you light up and smile. And there's just so many trailers. So I'm very excited.
That's the thing about it, right? Is I feel like you're talking about discoverability. It's something you wouldn't get in one of the bigger conferences. So it's stuff that can be targeted incredibly niche.
Esto es todo, amigos.
Something that is this
O sea,
strategy
por ahora
simulator you would have
terminamos.
never
Ya,
seen on the
¿vale?
main stage at Xbox or anywhere else in E3, but here it is getting the time it deserves, and it offers such a great insight into what inevitably will be coming to consoles eventually.
Yeah, very true. But you are going to see things that, you know, sometimes you'll get that big game that